Paul, you have a very compelling personal story. Your parents immigrated to the United States when you were just a little boy. They had an 8th grade education. Talk about your unique perspective as it relates to what you've accomplished and what you share with your students about what they can too.
So as you said, we immigrated when I was a kid. I'm the first generation college goer, graduate. And I think I live in this, feels sometimes really corny to talk about having sort of lived the American dream, but I feel like we've lived the American dream. And now if you take a look at all the research, what we know is that education remains the greatest, most powerful tool for social mobility, but the United States is now 17th in the world. It's better to be poor in much of Europe, in Japan, in Canada, where we left and we immigrated from, in many other places than it is in the US. And Pew will tell you that if you were born in the bottom 2 quintiles of socioeconomic class in America, there's a 65% chance you will live and die in poverty. This, to my mind, goes so fundamentally against the heart of the American mythos, which was always about we are not condemned to the place in which we were born. We are not condemned to the place where our parents found us. We are sort of free to remake ourselves. And that's harder and harder. So the opportunity that I had, which really came about through access to affordable, high-quality education and gifted teachers, is what we really have sought to do and to do differently. And Scott Pulsfer is here from WGU, a colleague institution which we admire greatly, and we were talking today about the need feels more urgent than ever. Higher education is out of the reach of more people. The total amount of debt that graduates carry is greater than the total amount of credit card debt in the US. We just sort of go down this litany of ills, and we built a one-size-fits-all industrial model of higher education that served us well, but doesn't serve very well for where we find ourselves today. So in our institution and places like WGU, we're really trying to reinvent, to keep all that mattered most, that was most transformative, but to really think very, very differently about the model and mechanism. So HBS is great, and we always need an HBS, and it produces the kind of research and supports the kind of research that Clay can do. But there are many kinds of higher education. We tend to talk about higher ed monolithically, and we need to understand the various jobs that need to be done. And for a lot of people, that job that needs to be done is that first job, that first on-ramp, that sort of inspirational, aspirational pathway to better work, better lives for their families, and the American dream that I sort of sometimes evoke when I talk about my own background. You started, Jane, if I may, when you asked Clay, what's the hope, what's the sort of legacy of this work, and we're sort of seeing this amazing rethinking and reinvention and disruption of big, thorny problems. But as I was thinking about Javier's comments, this is the legacy, is that we're going to change lives, we're going to save lives, we're going to create opportunity for people. It's really profound, and it's profound in ways that I think Clay needs to know that he won't ever be able to know how many lives this work has touched, but when you sort of total it all up, it's profound.
Absolutely.